Good morning, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and call to order the meeting of the License and Variance Board. Today is Wednesday, October the 13th, 2021. We've got several items on the agenda today. The first one is scheduled to be tabled. Item 2A is a public hearing variance request V21-069 for 863 Church Street with Nathan Corbett as the applicant. This, at the request of the applicant, this item is to be tabled to the October 27th License and Variance Board meeting. Do I hear a motion to table 2A?
I make a motion to table, reduce the side setback from 10 feet to 5 feet, lot 415, 863 Church Street, to October 27th License and Variance Board hearing.
Second.
Motion to table 2A with a proper second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. That motion passes unanimously. All right, next item on the agenda is 2B, which is a privilege license agent change request, LIC 2021-10, beer, wine, retail package, 475 Windy Hill Road for DRA Group Incorporated, DBA Windy Hill Food Mart, with Devin Patel as the agent. Is Mr. Patel present? If you could please step forward to the podium. Good morning. And for the record, could you just state your name?
Devin Patel.
Okay, Mr. Patel, can you just describe to this board your role with Windy Hill Food Mart? What do you do there?
I'm the owner for the corporation and the store.
So you're the owner. Are you typically at the store each day?
Yeah, every day.
Every day? Okay. And have you been the registered agent with this type of privilege license before in the past?
No, sir.
Okay. Can you talk to us about some practices or policies that you may have in place to make sure that that you maintain the responsible sale of alcohol here in the city?
Responsibility is like we can sell any alcohol product or tobacco product to any underage
So
customer.
how do you make sure they're not underage?
We can check the ID
Okay.
and we can check the ID. There is when I went to the training, there is so many fake ID also. So they told us how we want to check what is the real ID and what is the fake ID.
Right. Okay, do you have, at your point of sale register, is it, whoever's working at the register, are they required to enter a date of birth, or it's just checking the ID?
No, we have system like POS system. So someone bring any alcohol product or tobacco product, we can check the ID and we put in a system. After the register, move forward.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So, for the record, we do have a copy of Mr. Patel's required requisite training for responsible alcohol vendors. Also, for the record, the Smyrna Police Department did do the required background investigation for this type of applicant and found nothing in that investigation that would preclude the issuance of this license. This is not a public hearing. Any comment or questions about 2B? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion on 2B.
Make a motion to approve privilege license agent change request, LIC 2021-10, beer and wine retail package, 475 Windy Hill Road Southeast, DRA Group Inc., DBA Windy Hill Food Mart, with Devin Patel as agent.
Second.
We have a motion to approve 2B with a proper second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. That motion passes unanimously. Good luck, sir. Item 2C is another privileged license agent change request, LIC 2021-11, beer, wine, and liquor retail pouring, 1061 Concord Road, Ben's Crab, Smyrna Corp., DBA Ben's Crab with Ivan Raintung as agent. Is the applicant present?
Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, sir. If you could, for the record, state your name.
My name is Ivan. Last name is Rainton.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about your restaurant that you're going to open.
We're gonna open a seafood restaurant, and we're gonna have like a bar. So yeah, it's kind of typical like a boiling seafood.
That sounds good. Did you bring any seafood here with you today?
Yes.
It's a little early for lunch.
I
I know.
know.
I'm sorry. Okay, well that sounds exciting. Have you ever had a privileged license, been the registered agent for a facility before in the past? Have you ever had this type of?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But it's not in Smyrna. I have one restaurant in South Fulton.
Okay.
And also one restaurant in Howell Mill, and also one's in Forsyth County.
Okay, so it sounds like you've got some experience
Yes,
with
sir,
this
yeah.
type of responsibility. Good. So can you, the same question as I asked Mr. Patel earlier, could you describe to us policies or practices that you have in place, things that you require of your employees to make sure that they sell alcohol responsibly?
Yeah, all the staff will take the alcohol awareness training, and we have check ID 100%. And we have a couple meetings, a few weeks, to prevent selling underage alcohol. So in all of my restaurant, we always have a training for the staff.
Okay. Are you aware that occasionally the Smyrna Police Department does participate or coordinate undercover operations to make sure that facilities are selling alcohol responsibly? That they use undercover people to come in and try to buy alcohol, right? So they do occasionally do those types of checks.
Yes, I think in city of Atlanta sometimes they do that too.
Okay.
They send somebody who look like pretty young. But
Any questions for the applicant? Okay. Well, thank you, and we certainly wish you luck and looking forward to, when do you guys think you may be open?
we're planning on November 1st. And right now we do, we don't do any like a construction because the building is very good. Probably
Yeah.
most of you know Wade's Emporium. Yeah.
Right.
The building is beautiful, and I'm very happy coming to a city of Smyrna.
Good. Well, we're glad to have you here.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. All right, so again, for the record, we do have all of the required training for this applicant on file with us here today. Also, just like the last one, the Smyrna Police Department did do the required background investigation and found nothing in the application that would preclude the issuance of this license. Having said that, and if there's no further discussion, I'll call for a motion for 2C.
Make a motion to approve privileged license agent change request, LIC 2021-11, beer, wine, and liquor retail pouring, 1061 Concord Road Southeast, Ben's Crab Smyrna Corp., DBA Ben's Crab with Ivan Raintung as agent.
Second.
We have a motion to approve 2C with a proper second. Mr. Garland attended the fantastic Braves game last night and does not have a voice this
No,
morning.
I don't.
That's why you may hear the
Yes.
scratchy, but
You just-
what a game.
It'll be audible, but it may not be.
So we have a motion to approve 2C with a proper second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. The motion passed unanimously. Congratulations. All right, so the next several items on the agenda are all public hearings. Here's how this is going to work. I think all of them, there's 3 subject properties, and each one of them have 2 different variance requests. So what we're going to do when I call your particular variance request, I'm going to ask Mr. Stobbs for background, and then I'll call you as the applicant up to add to anything that Mr. Stobbs may have said. So having said that, let's move on. 2D is a public hearing variance request V21-053A to increase the maximum impervious area from 35% to 48.7% for a swimming pool in lot 561, 1355 Marston Street. Kenya Brock and Yvonne Lloyd as the applicant. Mr. Stobbs, a background, please.
Good morning, Joey Stobbs, Planner 2 with Community Development. This is 1355 Marston Street. asking for a variance to increase the impervious surface from 35% to 48.7% and to allow for a second accessory structure. The subject property has a single-family house and a 96-square-foot storage shed. They are looking to build an in-ground pool, about 350 square feet. When the existing house was built, it went over the impervious coverage from 35% to 45.9%. So they're just looking at another 3%. And they have worked with the city engineer since March on this to provide for water quality, and they are going to have permeable pavers that will meet the city engineer's requirements. So staff recommends approval of the two variances with one condition. That approval is conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan submitted with the variance application.
Okay, so just that one standard condition?
Yes, sir.
And the second one on the same property is for second accessory structure?
That's correct.
A pool is considered an accessory structure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, is the applicant present? Hey, good morning. You guys would please step forward and for the record, state your name.
Kenya Brock.
Yvonne Lloyd.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So you just heard Mr. Stobbs kind of just give an overview of the overall project. Your application has spawned two different variance requests. One is to the impervious surface area that he spoke a lot about, and the second one would just be to allow a second accessory structure. Do you have anything else beyond what Mr. Staub has said that you'd like for the board to hear? Any additional information?
No, sir.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant or for staff? Okay, thank you. This is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that'd like to speak for or against item 2D, I would ask that you step forward at this time. Seeing no one, I'll entertain a motion for 2D.
I make a motion to approve variance request V21-053A, increase the maximum impervious area from 35% to 48.7% for a swimming pool, land lot 561 at 1355 Marston Street.
Second.
Motion to approve 2D with a proper second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. That motion. Heather, Frank didn't get his. Okay.
Vote, everybody vote again?
Okay, that motion passes unanimously. Item 2E is the same subject property, which is 1355 Marston Street, same applicants. This is V21-053B to allow second accessory structure. Mr. Stobbs, any additional information?
No, sir, nothing additional.
And to the applicants, do you have any additional information? Any questions for staff or for the applicant? This is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that'd like to speak either for or against item 2E, I'd ask that you step forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for 2E.
Make a motion to approve variance request V21-053B, allow second accessory structure, land lot 561 at 1355 Marston Street.
Second.
A motion to approve 2E with a proper second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. Motion passes unanimously. Good luck. Next item on the agenda is 2F, public hearing variance request V21-103 to allow a gravel parking surface, land lot 491, 0.47 acre, 1278 Davis Road, Andrew Lewis and Jason Bradley Phillips. I'll have to get you to pronounce your last name in just a minute, but just like the last one, this property, 1278 Davis Road, spawned two variance requests. This one about the gravel parking surface, and also the second one would be to allow 8-foot privacy fence. Mr. Stobbs, background, please.
Subject property is 1278 Davis Road. They're asking for a variance to allow a gravel parking surface and to allow 8-foot privacy fence in our front yard. This is a commercial property that has a residential structure on it on Davis Road. You've probably never seen it because you can't see it from the road. It's on the north side of Windy Hill and the east side of Atlanta Road, right behind the church and the golf course. They're seeking to operate a landscape contractor office, and to do that, they have to screen their outdoor storage material and vehicles from the road. The existing structure is non-conforming, so it's within the front setback. And to connect the 8-foot fence to the existing structure, they need a variance for the 8-foot privacy fence. Additionally, this house is on septic, and to add a parking surface, they either need to pave it or to add gravel parking surface. Since it's on septic, they're seeking a variance for gravel parking surface to keep the drain lines open. They will keep that part of the property open without storage materials or vehicle parking on it to allow the septic system to operate properly. We recommend approval with 2 conditions. Approval is conditioned upon substantial compliance with the site plan submitted with the variance application. And 2, the septic tank drainage area shall remain undisturbed and not be utilized for storage or parking as depicted on the site plan.
Okay. Any questions for staff right now? Are the applicants present? Could please step forward. Good morning, and if you could please state your name.
Andrew Pepiot.
Pepiot.
I'm Jason Phillips.
Good morning.
And Sean Tintle, their agent.
Good morning. I was going to say Pepiot, but
Nobody
I
gets
thought
it,
there was
so.
like a French thing, and I was going to mess it up. So good morning to all of you. You just heard Mr. Stobbs kind of give the 60,000-foot overview of the project that you guys are doing and how it spawned those 2 different variance requests. Do you have anything additional that you'd like to add to what Mr. Stobbs read into record?
No, sir.
No, I'll just say that as Mr. Staub said, it is currently a commercially zoned property that does have a residential structure with a residential CO, and they are working with both the marshal's office to do improvements to get the commercial CO on it once they actually close on the property as well. So.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant? Okay.
You guys doing commercial or residential landscape planning? Is it planning or is it service?
Service.
Okay,
Do both.
We do both.
okay. So it's not gonna be an office location where you're bringing clients, it's just
Non-retail, correct.
headquarters? Okay.
Anything else? Okay. So the one thing, you heard Mr. Stobbs at the end read into record the 2 conditions. The first one's just a standard condition that are on, you have to build it the way you say you're going to. Are you familiar with both of those that he read and you're in agreement with that? Okay. All righty. Well, thank you guys and good luck to you.
Thank you.
This is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that'd like to speak either for or against item 2F, I would ask that you'd step forward at this time. Seeing no one, I'll entertain a motion.
Making a motion to approve variance request V21-103, allow gravel parking surface land lot 491 on 0.47 acres at 1278 Davis Road.
Second.
Motion approved 2F with a proper second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is 2G, same subject property. This one is V21-104 to allow 8-foot privacy fence in front yard. Land lot 491.47 acre, 1278 Davis Road, same 2 applicants. Mr. Stobbs, any additional information?
Nothing additional.
And to the applicants, any additional information? Any questions for staff or the applicant? This is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that'd like to speak either for or against item 2G, I'd ask that you step forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve variance request V21-014, allow 8-foot privacy fence in front yard. Land lot 491 on 0.47 acres at 1278 Davis Road.
Second.
Motion approved 2G with a proper second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. Motion passes unanimously. Good luck. Congratulations. Okay. Now, we're going to move on to 2660 Parks Edge Drive. The first one for that is a public hearing variance request, V21-105, to allow rear setback reduction from 20 feet to 4.7 feet for land lot 448.14 acre, 2660 Parks Edge Drive. Almasy Hall is the applicant, Mr. Stobbs. The background, so the first one is rear setback and second one is impervious surface increase.
Subject property is 2660 Parks Edge Drive. They're requesting a variance to allow a rear setback reduction from 20 feet to 4.7 feet, to allow impervious surface area increase from 45% to 65%. At the rear of this subject property, the home has an at-grade deck that extends 5 feet away from the rear property line. They are looking to build a 12 by 16 and a 13 by 16 sunroom over the existing deck. Since it's extending the roof line, then they are needing a rear setback reduction to 5 feet. Additionally, since these structures are covered, it will increase the impervious surface from 45% to 65%. The subject property is buffered by open space area at the rear, and then their detention pond for the community on the other side of the property. We are recommending approval with 2 conditions: that it's in compliance with the site plan submitted with the application, and 2, that the applicant shall submit a water quality plan subject to approval by the city engineer. And essentially, we just want to know that the existing detention area can accommodate the additional impervious surface that they're creating.
So the required water quality stuff to the city, would that be before the issuance of a building permit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions for staff? All right, is the applicant present? Good morning.
I'm Alma Seahall.
You anticipated already. Thank you.
I've
Okay,
been
so,
watching.
yeah, so
I'm
just
a
like the
former
other,
educator, I listen.
good. Just like the other
Oh, man, I
two.
don't listen.
And for the record, sir, your name?
Todd Sutton, I'm the contractor.
Okay. So just like the other two applicants, you heard Mr. Stobbs kind of read into record the big picture, talk about both the various requests. He also mentioned the 2 stipulations at the end. Are you familiar with and do you agree with those 2 stipulations?
Well, I take issue with the water. I don't know how we can, I don't know what you are looking for in terms of water quality. The same amount of water that's going to fall on that deck is going to fall on that structure. So it's not going to.
Well, yeah, but so you're increasing the impervious surface area with the roof.
No.
Well, you are, so.
Yeah, the water won't fall through the
Yeah.
deck the same way is what they're
I
saying.
think, and Joey, you talk, this is quite simply to answer your question, it is working with our city engineer, Eric Randall, for the water quality report. Is that correct, Joey?
Yes, sir. I mean, the existing detention pond can probably account for it. We just want a calculation that says, yes, this additional area will be accounted for in your detention pond.
Okay, so I have to contact the engineer for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be a relatively easy thing. And that's a common stipulation when we're talking about, anytime anyone wants to increase the amount of impervious surface, we really need to see some type of an offset, and that can be done in a variety of ways. I think you're fortunate with your property with the built-in detention area being close to, and like Mr. Stobb said, more than likely, it's going to be able to handle this little bit of additional. We just need to see, the proof of that. So as the offset for the increased impervious surface. But it should be relatively pain-free. Do you have any additional information to add about the project other than what Mr. Stiles said?
No? Just to know that it's already on an existing deck that
Right.
is very well reinforced.
Right.
So that's the only thing I'd want to add.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant? All right, thank you. This is a public hearing. If you're here to speak either for or against item 2H, I would ask that you step forward at this time. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve a variance request V21-0105, allow rear setback reduction from 20 feet to 4.7 feet, land lot 448 on 0.14 acres at 2660 Parks Edge Drive.
Second.
We have a motion to approve 2H with a proper second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is 2I, same subject property, variance request V21-106 to allow impervious surface increase from 45 to 65, land lot 448, 0.14 acres, 2660 Parks Edge Drive. Mr. Stobbs, any additional?
Nothing additional.
And to the applicant, do you have any additional information for this one? Any questions for the staff or applicant? This is a public hearing. If there's anybody here that would like to speak for or against item 2I, I would ask that you'd step forward at this time. Seeing no one, I'll entertain a motion for 2I.
Make a motion to approve variance request V21-106, allow impervious surface increase from 45% to 65%, land lot 448 on 0.14 acres, 2660 Parks Edge Drive.
Second.
I have a motion to approve 2I with a proper second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. That motion passes unanimously. Good luck. Last item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Item 3A, approval of the September 22nd, 2021 License Variance Board meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve this, approval of September 22nd, 2021 License and Variance Board meeting minutes.
Second.
I have a motion to approve those minutes with a proper second. If there's no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. That motion passes unanimously. I'll call this meeting adjourned at 10:27. Have a good day, everybody.